KG, life would be so much better if hot dogs, potato chips, and ice cream were considered health food.
Well, snap out of it, Jimmy, because they are not. But even if you're trying to eat right, it's not always easy because of misleading labels.
So we found some expert guidance on what to look for before you check out at the grocery store. And that's our featured story at the top of the list.
We've all been taught to look at labels, but what we may not know is what to look for.
A lot of words on the front labels of foods are ridiculous.
Stephen Perrine, author of The Whole Body Reset, executive editor for AARP The Magazine and the AARP Bulletin, is helping us decode healthful eating. So sure, calories and sugar matter, but Stephen says the first trick to figuring out if something really is healthful is just simple math. Protein plus fiber.
Simply take the number of protein grams and the number of fiber grams in any food. Add them together. Then look at the number of added sugar grams. If the protein and fiber is higher than added sugar, that's a healthy food.
Most packaged food contains added sugar, and you even have to be careful when it comes to different products made by the same brand. For example, regular Cheerios have 9 grams of protein and fiber combined and only 2 grams of added sugar, while Honey Nut Cheerios have a 6 to 12 gram ratio.
If the added sugar is higher, it's not a healthy food.
Next up, let's look at the tricks they use when it comes to sodium.
Diet means nothing. Light means nothing. Reduced sodium, for example, just means it's got less sodium than the exact same product, but it could still be very high in sodium.
Because according to the FDA, the term reduced sodium just means that what you're consuming has at least 25% less sodium than the regular version.
If you're watching salt, look for low sodium, which is a regulated phrase that does mean you're getting a healthier food.
Low sodium means there is 140 milligrams or less per serving. And grains are another place where you might think you're making good choices, but watch out for those confusing carbs.
So if it says whole grain, all that means is that there's some whole grain in there. Wheat bread doesn't mean anything because all bread is made out of wheat.
Don't get duped. Look for the whole grain stamp.
You want to find 100%. That means that it's got all the fiber and all the nutrients that the food has naturally.
A 50% plus stamp means you're getting at least half whole grains. And the basic whole grain stamp means the bread contains the minimum requirement. And when it comes to artisanal and homemade, it doesn't really mean too much.
If you have an Italian grandmother locked in the basement of your factory and she's making handmade artisanal breads, that's really sad, but that's the only thing it really means. Otherwise, it's just words.
This is a vague term that's used more for marketing than anything else. Making sure the food you're eating really is healthful is at the top of the list.